Hello everyone, Lawrence here from Unicorn Reviews, and we're looking at this case, the Phanteks Enthoo Pro M acrylic window. A very long name for a case. So quite some time ago I reviewed the Phanteks Enthoo Pro and I said that for €100 it was basically the best case money could buy. The Pro M is slightly cheaper. It's around €20 cheaper than the original Pro, and that's because it loses a lot of functionality, a lot of features that you don't really need, like all the hard drive cages in the front, for example. So let's start off with a physical overview. We'll start at the front. So in the front, massive mesh intake, no dust filters in the front, by the way, also not in the bottom here or on these sides. It's all completely open for dust to get in, but you can put up to 3 120s or dual 140s in the front of this case. Moving on to the top, there is only a power button. And then there is a magnetic removable dust filter. The left side panel is completely plain, but on the right side panel, that's where the acrylic part comes in. So unlike other cases that just have a window, this is more like my InWin 805. You can check out that video in the top right corner. This is more like that case. So it's not a tempered glass side panel. This is a acrylic side panel. And it's not quite as well implemented as with the InWin case, but granted the InWin case is twice the price of this one. It looks good. It's made, well, it's very sturdy. It's not like the Corsair 760T, which is just flimsy plastic. This is very sturdy feeling, but it doesn't stay on its own. It needs the screws to stay on, and so it's really hard as one person to put the side panel on or take it off again because of this mechanism. Moving on to the back, there is a 140mm fan already installed on slots. There is also room for a 120 with a bit of space above the motherboard for mounting radiators on one of these sliding things, but more about that later. There are 7 expansion slots and a power supply cutout that can go either way, so you can go fan up, fan down with a power supply dust filter in the bottom as well. Like with many Phanteks cases, there is a removable bracket in the top where you can put triple fan systems on there, so triple 120s, triple 140s, radiators as well. There is room for one optical drive in the front, but you have to take that out if you go with triple fans, by the way. So in the front right here, that's where all those hard drive cages used to be in the original Pro. They're now blanked off. You can buy L-shaped hard drive brackets that go in there. If you want to use that. The power supply cover is no longer easy to remove like with the original Pro, but it's still, actually it's a bit stronger. It's more like the Enthoo cases. There is still this cutout here. There's a cutout here if you want to use an SSD that you can use this drop and lock system here. I actually double-sided taped a SSD right here. This bracket here is removable for, as I said, massive radiators in the front. But other than that, it's a very simple looking design. It kind of reminds me of Fractal's R5 and the Define S case, where the motherboard is inset a little bit, and this is actually extruded a little bit, so it makes it really easy to get rid of your cables. It also makes for some more room behind where the hard drive cages could go. This is a basement style case, but it's all very nicely ventilated, so if you have a bottom fan right here as an intake, air can still go to your graphics card. You can still put the power supply fan side up, which is what I did. What I also really like is the fact that we do have a rubber grommet here, and these are also grommeted holes. What I don't like, however, is there are cutouts here for your motherboard connectors. They're not quite big enough, and when I was building it, I forgot to take this USB cable out of the hole right here that it came through, and when the motherboard was in, I can no longer remove the USB cable. So you have to put some thought into where the cables go before screwing in the motherboard, but I guess you should kind of always do that. I just forgot it. Right then, so this is not the in-depth style review that you may have expected from me. There is a separate build video in this case. This is the acrylic version, and I really just wanted to talk about this side panel. As you can see, there's this black border, which is great for hiding all this stuff because it was not originally intended for this panel. And despite having the black border to cover these things, it still shows that it was not originally intended as an entire clear panel when they designed the Pro M. I really don't like the way the side panel mounts because there is no hook here or any system like with the 805 that had the rubber stick out thingies that the panel hooks over. It only is attached with the screws, and I don't like that because it's a nightmare to put it on unless if you put the case on its side all the time and then you're scratching the other panel. It's just a nightmare, really. This whole afterthought thing is also something that you really see in the packaging. The box doesn't mention anywhere that it's the entire side panel made out of acrylic. So if you're picking this up in a store, you really have to look for a little white sticker that says full acrylic window version on it. And talking even more about the full acrylic window, taking off this cardboard protection took me 15 minutes because the cardboard kept ripping. And so on the inside it was protected with plastic, really easy to remove, takes 2 seconds, 15 minutes to remove the cardboard. It was a nightmare. So either they made the paper too weak or they made the glue too strong, I don't know, but it's just a bit of a nightmare to get it off. It's something you only have to do once, but still it just makes the user experience less than perfect. So my conclusion on this case is basically that it is just an afterthought that they put a full acrylic window on there. They must have looked at a company like Inwin and said, hey, we can do that too, and then kind of failed miserably. I don't like the way the window mounts, and sure, it all looks fine, but even the finish on these chamfered edges is not good. The way you have to get the protective stuff off, the way you install the window. I mean, the case itself, don't get me wrong here, guys. I love this case, and for the budget, this is a really good case, because this is what a Source 340 budget, and it's way better built, way more features, way more expandability. It's just, they call it the full acrylic version, and for me, the acrylic part of it is just not up to par with the competition. And, you know, I think of Phanteks as the best case manufacturer out there at the moment. And for them to make the panel attached this way, I think is just a bit of a shame, because I know they could have done a better job. Anyway, guys, if you think I could have done a better job with this video, press that dislike button. But if you liked it, there's always the like button. There's the subscribe button if you haven't already. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, support the channel on Patreon. But for now, this was pretty much it. You can put all your comments, questions below. And yeah, thank you very much for watching.